Hello everyone, and now it is time to prepare the chicken teriyaki that I started yesterday. So let's just run through the ingredients quickly, what we're going to need. So we're going to need a knob of ginger, 2 cloves of garlic, we're going to be making some rice, we're going to have some cornstarch and water if needed. We're going to have some salt and pepper, some mirin sake and soy sauce, and our chicken that we pre-prepped from yesterday. Of course, the recipe link will be in the description. We're gonna do some things differently, make some modifications, but we're gonna follow this. We're gonna follow this the general guidelines of this. So let's start with our first step. As we always do on this channel, when we ever make a dish that involves rice, we always start with it. So I think here we're gonna be feeding a lot less people. So we're going, at least some people in my family will be eating this today. So, because they're out, we're going to be just making 1 cup of rice. Which means that as we have 1 cup of our wonderful sushi rice, we're going to have 1 cup of our water to go along with it. Now, optionally, you can wash the rice. Some people recommend it. I've never actually washed rice before for whenever I make rice. So I'm just not wash my rice and just go with it. I don't really have any problems with unwashed rice. So what I'm going to do is just go and turn this on. We're going to wait for it to come to a boil. Seems to have forgotten the lid. So I'll just pull the lid out quickly so that I can get my maximum heat. Sorry about that. I don't seem to have my lid. It's okay. We can go about this lidless. It would be better if we had a lid, but we don't seem to have it. Or at least it's not in its normal spot where it would be, so that I could put the lid on. So we're gonna wait for that to come to a boil, and then once it actually does come to a boil, we're going to just put it on a simmer. Should have the lid. It's actually bothering me a little bit that I don't have the lid, because it's always here. It's fine, I can make do without it. Not the best strategy, of course, but it's what we have to do. So let's wait for this to come to a boil, and then we'll be ready. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to start cutting up our garlic and our ginger. So I'll take 2 cloves of my garlic and just finely chop that up. Bring the camera a little closer. Just take a look at my rice to make sure it's not boiling over. And I will get cutting. Not let it boil just yet. That's the first clove cut up. Now we'll just do the second one. This recipe comes from Pro Home Cooks, just in case you're wondering. I'll have the link in the description. But that's just the immediate name, just in case anyone wants to search it up, well, search it up for themselves. Let's start garlic chopped up. Then now we'll chop up a knob of ginger. I have a ginger root here. We're not going to need the entire thing. We'll just cut off a 1 to 2 inch piece and throw it in. for me, I'll do like roughly a 1.5-inch piece. That looks like maybe even just a little more. It's best for me. Okay, that rice is boiling. We'll just take that down to a simmer and set a timer for 20 minutes. So our timer's on for 20 minutes. This might actually seem really silly, but because I'm kind of desperate for a lid here, I'm just going to put my big lid on top of it like this. Dutch oven lid might not be the neatest fit, but it'll do for steaming. Anyway, back to cutting up my ginger. We'll just cut this up. Roughly the same size as the garlic is okay. So recording, that's good. Maybe I'll just cut this up around one more time. There we go. This is our ginger and our garlic. Might save the trouble of just in case I'll switch out now. Use a bigger. I'll substitute for a bigger pan. Then take a look at our rice to make sure it's coming along well. It's still coming along nice. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm using a neutral flavored oil like canola or vegetable oil. So I'll drop 2 tablespoons of this in. Actually, never mind. The recipe calls for 1, so I'll just do a tablespoon. Just 1 tablespoon here. Then I'll put in my garlic and ginger. In fact, I just might just get this one more chop just in case. I'll just put my garlic and ginger right in to my oil and let that heat up. We're going to be putting that on medium heat. Much better. Put that on medium heat, and I'll just let the aromatics bloom. Letting the aromatics bloom just means letting them spread around and letting them get really fragrant. So just take us a minute too. It's just gonna take us a minute too. Let's heat up. It's starting to smell really fragrant already. So we're still recording. Good. So we'll just let this bloom for about 3 minutes. If you want, I said medium heat, but I would actually recommend doing it on low heat. So we'll do it on low rather than medium. We're going to be doing medium when we actually put the ingredients in. We're also going to be putting in sesame seeds to our teriyaki sauce. I know my mom's allergic to sesame, so I wouldn't put it in if she could actually have... What I mean by this is that teriyaki sauce that we're going to be making is going to be consisting of our soy sauce, our sake, and our mirin. My mom is allergic to soy sauce, so she couldn't have this anyway. But I'm putting in sesame seeds as an extra optional ingredient. And this extra optional ingredient can be removed if you're allergic to sesame or just don't want to have it. But I'm just going to be putting in some sesame seeds for flavor and texture. So we'll just wait for about a minute 30 for this to be done. So rice coming along, looking good. I'm actually gonna give that a stir. Steam out for a second. I actually want to get a bigger spoon. And when I'm done stirring my rice, I'll actually move on to the next step of our process, which is just the next step of our process is just going to be actually putting in our soy sauce, our sake, and our mirin. This is our chicken from earlier. I'll just throw out the covering. Turn that around. Our aromatics look really nice and fragrant. Really glad about that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our, where's my 1 cup measurement? We're going to take our 1 cup and put in a cup of mirin, sake, and soy sauce. This is cooking rice wine from Kame. I have actual mirin, but this bottle was open and it actually works as a substitute. So I'm just going to put in a cup of mirin. I'll put in a cup, that was a little less, so I'll have to get out a little more later. I'll get out a cup of sake. Drop a little bit. No, sake is actually a rice wine, and so is mirin. So if you want to cook with alcohol, you'll have to find so if you don't want to use alcohol, you'll have to actually find substitutes. And then I'll take a cup of soy sauce and put it in as well. There we go. So now we're going to bring the sauce to a boil. I'm going to do it over a little hotter heat. A little over medium for me. And then once we actually bring the sauce to a boil, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on medium and let the alcohol cook off. So for now, I'm actually going to pause the video and open up another bottle of mirin because I need to put just a little more in. You still want to put in a cup. I put in a little less than a cup because my bottle ran out. So I will see you guys all in just 1 second.